1. We're going. Okay. Hi, everyone. So, we're going to be doing just a general talk about competitive Pokemon, how to get into it, and how it's changed over the years. My name is Sean. I've not done anything competitive related at all. But I've got some people here who have a bit more experience. They're going to explain to me exactly how it all goes. So, yeah, if you guys want to introduce each other.
I'll start, I guess, because I guess where I'm in the video here.
Yeah, sure.
Kyle, I played Pokemon since the beginning, but I skipped a few generations. Got back into Gen 4. I was in university then, so that's when I first started doing competitive Pokemon, battling with this friends. We had like a friendly tournament, and then since then I pretty much been enjoying competitive side Pokemon from pretty much Gen 6 and upwards. I skipped Gen 5, but yeah, I love it. It's addictive. You can sink a lot of hours in it. Great thing to do while you're watching Netflix or a sport.
Oh, awesome.
I mean, you can play while, when there's excitement, look up, go back, and keep eating those eggs. So yeah, I've been into it for a while now.
Awesome.
I'm Jack, or Sir Red if you know me on Twitch. I've been playing, since the start. I skipped Generation 7 because I thought it was terrible. I've been playing competitively since Generation 6, so I know a bit, but not as much as this guy.
So I'm Eddie, and I've been playing since the beginning. The only generation, I haven't skipped any generations, but Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, I admittedly didn't play a huge amount of. After Sun and Moon, I don't know, I just didn't connect as much with that generation period. So yeah, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, there's a lot of stuff I didn't do in them, and I will go back to them. But yeah, competitively speaking, I've been playing, I suppose competitively, in essence, since it was a competitive game. So from the very beginning, trying different, different strategies with different Pokemon, things that hadn't been done before. But it didn't really kick off properly until I would say probably 3rd gen. And yeah, I've attended 1 or 2 of the qualified tournaments, if I've been able to travel to them for the tournaments each year. But again, probably not as many as this guy, wherever he is.
He's to it would be your right. Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. But yeah, I've been playing since Pokemon Yellow. I skipped Gen 2 just because I was young. I went straight from Yellow to Ruby. I've played every game since, but I've been more into the collecting aspect. So I've got 11 decks that I've generated over the years. I'm currently working on getting all of the forms as well. But competitive is something I have no idea about. I went to a local Pokemon event a few months before the COVID times, and I got absolutely wiped by everyone. There was like a 10-year-old kid there who absolutely destroyed my team. I have no idea where to start with competitive. I understand that IVs and EVs are things, and natures and abilities. But yeah, what I thought it would be a good idea for us to just talk about competitive, and where do I start?
I think for me would be which one you want to do, right? VGC or Smogon.
Right, okay.
Like VGC is the Nintendo's video game competition, and Smogon is kind of a community started it.
Yeah.
Gen 4, if not mistaken, or it might have been earlier. I know, and you've been in Gen 4. So VGC pretty much allows almost every Pokemon except for a handful of a few. Any move is pretty much allowed, and multiple Pokemon can be put to sleep at once.
Oh, okay. Oh, I heard about that. That's the sleep clause.
Sleep clause, which is on Smogon. That's what
right. I see.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it was quite a mixture. Raw rules, a mixture of Smogon and VGC. Because that's the thing. Smogon is very much like more of a community rule set based around with different tiers as well,
which is what makes it fun.
Right.
So,
okay.
For example, in Gen 4, when I got into it, Garchomp was and everybody's team because it was A, amazing Pokemon, B, because everyone had it, you needed to have one, and then because of that, is then everyone had to have like a Garchomp killer, right? So it became an issue of that every team almost had the same build, hypothetically. With VG, let's say with Smogon, they made Garchomp an Uber, which is their top tier, which is like legendary.
Right.
Pretty much banning it from normal competition.
Okay.
So then you get more diverse teams because you're not focused on I need to have a team to do this one thing, right? This one exact thing. So it makes it more unique.
Okay.
For me personally, that's why I like Smogon better because you don't get here's 50 Garchomps you see in a day when you're fighting, right?
Is that similar to what happened with Speed Boost Blaziken? Speed Boost Blaziken when that came out, yeah.
See, that's another thing that VGC allows. Smogon, I think, I forget now. I think you cannot pass attacks down.
Oh, okay.
Wait, say again, sorry?
I think in Smogon you can't use Baton Pass with certain things, like attacks. Like you can like have something with Sword Dance, pass down the Blaziken, and Blaziken just gets speed boost and becomes just like.
Yeah, I tried that. Like Ninjask cannot learn button pass.
Exactly. Gets boosted speed every turn. You just then substitute or protect. Bring it down to your strong Pokemon, and you just go with it.
Right, I see.
So, Smogon makes it more with Sleep Claws, which is you only can put one Pokemon to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like Swagger Claws. What do they call it? Endeavor Claws, or what is it? I have written down. Evasion Claws, which is like you cannot use like Sand Attack or minimize like anything that you can use anything like minimize, which you're affecting your Pokemon to get evasive. You cannot. It's banned.
Right. Okay.
Because the other person cannot like switch out or anything. Right? If you're making them confused, they can switch out their Pokemon, right? But if you're doing it to your own team Pokemon, it is kind of annoying.
Yeah, there's no strategy. It's just you miss.
Yeah.
There's also like Swagger and Freeze clauses, which are extra clauses you can add on if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
They're not part of the rule set per se. And then also there's moves and items that are banned.
Right. Is Swagger the move that it will raise the Pokemon's attack but make it confused?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
The higher a Pokemon's attack stat, the more damage they do to themselves when they're confused.
Right.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that's why you do it.
Yeah.
And then like some moves are like there's no one-hit KO moves allowed in Smogon. So and there's other moves that are banned.
My main knowledge, I think, is Smogon. Listening to what you're saying, I didn't 100% know the difference, but from what you're saying, my main knowledge is Smogon because I don't know about these guys, but I'm quite privy to just sitting on the sofa. I've got Pokemon Showdown on my phone, so
we're gonna get to Pokemon Showdown soon enough. Yeah. So like the tiers are essentially Uber, overused, then there's like rarely used, underused, and I think then there's like Little Cup. They changed them over the years. I think there was below. There were other tiers at some point. So essentially, what happens is that Smogon will use Showdown to test out Pokemon, and then every week they'll usually, or every month, there's a Twitter like, oh, these Pokemon have been moved up, these Pokemon have been moved down.
Oh, okay.
So usually when the new generation comes in, there's a lot of just like, let's test out, like, these new Pokemon and see where they fit in, where they fall into the tiers.
Yeah.
And then some make them more popular depending on what's going on. Like there's some and there's also some interesting tactics you see on Showdown stuff because the diversity you have. Because I think for me personally, Smogon's much more of a chess match strategy. There's more 1v1 usually. So there's a different strategy say than VGC. Being VGC's 2v2.
Ah, right. I was about to ask. Are there like certain leagues where like some people use 1v1, some use 2v like
VGC's always 2v2.
Always 2v2. Right.
4
okay.
Pokemon. VGC's usually 2v2, and you bring in 4 Pokemon. Usually Smogon is 1v1, but they have 2v2. But the main one I think is 1v1 usually, and that is 6 Pokemon, full team.
Ah, okay.
Because like with VGC, it's more about having a way to support your powerful mon, right? Like you may bring like a supportive mon and a more powerful mon and use one to either boost it or take the damage away from your stronger mon so it doesn't get hit as much.
Yeah.
Or by, affecting the other team and stuff. There's much
Right.
less of switching up Pokemon. 2v2 it happens, but it's not as frequent.
Yeah, because it's more like one Pokemon supporting another that's already out and working together. Yeah, because doubles and singles make it just such a different techniques for trying to work it out. Yeah,
Exactly. And also
That's
abilities.
interesting.
And there's also some abilities which are much more friendly to 2v2, and I think we've seen a lot more in this generation that were interesting when you're doing 2v2 over 1v1.
Right.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, I've seen what is it? Primate and another Pokemon. I know that there's an Ice type move that always crits, and if you've got a Primate with Anger Point, it automatically boosts its attack to max.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because
Yeah, exactly.
Anger Point, if you get crit, it boosts your attack all the way up. Ice move on a Pokemon that you've got always crits. You attack your own Pokemon, and boom, it's got max attack.
That happens too,
Right.
depending. Or you might put weakness policy on your Pokemon, hit it with something that's weak to, but it doesn't do a lot of damage, and it gets boosted.
Yeah.
That was it. Frostlass with Frost Breath.
Oh, okay.
Got
And
someone
there's
in the
things like-
Discord chatting away.
And then, for example, say like neutralize gas for Galar Weezing is a good one for VGC.
Ah, right. Okay.
Because of what it does. But sometimes it doesn't really. It helps in 1v1, or something like this doesn't really benefit 1v1 as much. Some do. So it is much more of a mind. It's what you want to do and how you want to play it. And then what makes it hard for both of them is making your team together,
Yeah.
right? But let's go before we start about team combos or whatever you want to call it. We should start about how to actually breed a Pokemon, or what.
Of course, yeah. How to get the Pokemon with the stats and stuff. Yeah, because I understand that there's EVs and IVs, but also the natures and abilities as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. How would you start getting a Pokemon with specific stats that you're wanting that would make it good with
First
competitive
thing,
as well?
stats wise, is IVs.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one you need to look at first, because think of IVs as the genes of the Pokemon.
Right. Okay.
They get passed on through breeding. And that's the only way. I haven't really done much in Sword and Shields. I think Sword and Shields has items that would help, if I'm correct.
Oh,
That
no.
boost.
Yeah, you've
Maps,
got
right, yeah.
a couple of ways of doing it. Yeah.
But I'm going to more talk about the more natural way of like how it will work back.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So the max in IVs you can get is 31 in each stat. It's, as I said, it's passed down by breeding back in the day before Gen 6, I think it was, before the Destiny Knot, and the person who tell you the IVs, you literally would have had to breed a Pokemon, level it up by not battling, so putting it in a daycare, for example, looking at the stats and then calculating the stats.
Wow. Okay. So it was a very manual, just you trying to work out the maths of like, oh, this
Yes,
is increased by this much. This must have this in this stat.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
It couldn't. It was very tedious.
It definitely sounds it. Yeah.
But in Gen 6, I think it was when they added there was a person, I think, the final in the battle arena gym Poke Center, who would tell you like, oh, your attack is very good or excellent. I forget what he would say, but you had a level for each type, like 31.
Oh, there was like a words, and like if they said
Yes,
this
exactly.
word
He would
towards
say,
the
like,
thing.
oh, your attack is
Right.
superior or whatever.
Yeah.
So you would have to write it. I usually had like an Excel sheet and then named my Pokemon of what they were good at.
Right. Right.
So I knew which ones. Then with the Poke Parks, it helped. Was it Poke Park or Safari?
Friend Safari.
Friend Safari, which always had the Pokemon you found there were always had, I think, 1 or 2 31 stats, if I'm correct. They were usually better than ones you find in the wild.
Oh, okay.
And that's what made Dittos. And that's what made people with normal Friend Safari really popular, because of the Dittos.
Yeah.
Because it was a way to. That's how I would usually start getting my Pokemon to 31s, was getting Dittos of as many 31s as I can find.
Right. Right.
So I want to say 31 in attack, 31 in whatever, and if I can find one with multiple, even better.
Yeah.
Right, and then that's how you would need to start. But then you also need to consider at some point the natures because of the breeding and stuff. But going back, let's talk about later. So essentially, was Destiny not? It will bring over 5 of the 6 IVs from one of the parents.
Right. Okay.
So that's where that became really helpful. And then you could use one of the power items. Was it the power? Like the power anklets and the power bands. So they're the power items, right? I think they're called.
Yeah, like the power anklet, power bracelet.
Exactly. If you gave that to the other parent, it would guarantee that stat would be carried over.
Oh, right. I see.
An attack, and you knew that like this Ditto has a 31 attack.
Mhm.
Okay, I need that attack for this mon.
Yeah.
So you'd usually like, okay, and I'm carried over, then use the other one to make sure that
It kept that one.
give it higher chances.
Yeah.
Because then you would do it, so then because it carries over 5, you would want to start stacking them as much as possible. Then it's like, then we can carry over 5, then might carry over 1, and then you're just trying to get the best combos as possible.
Yeah.
I
Right.
didn't know that about the power items.
Yeah, I know about. I think that's newish in this gen because they made breeding easier in this gen.
Oh yeah.
Sword and Shield.
Right.
A
Okay.
lot easier.
Even for like egg moves, but we'll get to that at some point later. So yeah, actually wait. Yeah, so IVs are 1, and then you just go until you get 31 in the stats you want. So if you're making, I think you're making a physical attacker. You care about everything but special attack. So ideally, you would like 31 in everything but special attack.
Yeah.
But you may not like. You may think, okay, I don't really care. My special defense is at the best, right? You might not say like whatever. Or sometimes you may want your speed at 0. Let's say for Furthorn with
Gyro Ball.
is it Iron Ball?
Gyro Ball.
Gyro Ball, where it's like the most is stronger when you have some lowest amount of speed.
Ah, right. Yeah. Or if you're
And-
using something
and-
like Trick Room, where it like reverses so the slowest is
Yes,
fast, that
or
kind
if
of
you're
thing.
making a trick room
Yeah.
defense, you would want that too.
Right,
Also,
okay.
hidden the is it hidden move? Write it down. What is it?
Hidden ability.
Hidden power.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Hidden powers is also determined by what IVs.
Oh, I
So, for
didn't
example,
know that.
like,
Okay.
On man, I haven't played Pokemon in a while now. I have freaking names. In Jolteon, for example, which was popular back in the day, you would want to like hidden grass on your on it. For the fact of any ground type mon will come in, you would have an attack for it.
Right. I see. Yeah.
Because it's so fast, you can surprise it potentially.
Yeah.
Or you suspect that person's gonna bring in a ground type to block your obvious incoming thunder move. Right, so you can then mind game it and think, okay, I'm gonna put a hidden power on it.
Hidden
with
power
to
grass.
hit it.
Yeah.
So those are things that IVs are important for, and it is hardish. It gets a bit annoying, but when you get the grasp of it, and also when you start, never release your really good IV mons. Even if you're not going to use this for battling, keep the good ones, because later on when you work on other Pokemon, if you have one that has like 5 or 4 31 IVs, and that one could breed with another mon you want, especially if it's male, of course, it's beneficial because it makes it quicker for you.
Oh, of course, because there's like egg types where rather than having
it
to
has
use the same
egg type.
Pokemon, you can have like as long as it's part of the same egg group, it's good.
Exactly. That's why I keep.
Wailord and Skitty.
I was gonna say Wailord and Skitty. That's where that comes from. Yeah.
That's why you keep Dittos. You keep like I had so many boxes just filled with just like all those mons that have really good IVs.
Yeah.
Especially Dittos, because of course what's annoying with some Pokemon like the genderless ones, you only can do it with Ditto.
Right.
So that's when you had like if someone found like a perfect Ditto or 5 IV Ditto, like it was like it's a gold mine.
Oh yeah. Because that's like you guaranteed for just
sometime,
anywhere. Yeah.
Especially back in the days when you can use I wouldn't say hack, but you can bring in a made Pokemon easily through the the GTS.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I would use a lot of people would just make themselves 31 and everything dittos,
Yeah.
just to make their breeding quicker. Then with breeding is usually you need to look at what if you want any egg moves,
Mm-hmm.
because before it was you had to carry in from a different Pokemon species.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to wish on an Eevee, I couldn't use another Eevee. I
Right.
had to find another one breed with a female Eevee. Now they changed it in Gen 8 where it could be the same species, which makes life easier.
Oh, okay. So,
I think you-
from what egg moves are, they're, if you have two Pokemon in a daycare, one of them already knows a type, but the other one has that as an egg move. It's that its child could potentially have that
Learn it.
move as one of the ones that it has when it hatches. Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Usually egg moves. I mean, I know there's only a certain amount of moves that'll get carried over, and you usually only care about egg moves because the other ones you can usually learn from other things, right?
Right, yeah.
And then the other one you need to worry about is nature. So why nature is important is because it will. Some natures are neutral, so it doesn't affect stats. Other natures it will give an advantage to one of your stats, but disadvantage to another.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's where it becomes big. And again, depending on the Pokemon you want to use, let's say like for example, Jolly,
Mm-hmm.
it will increase speed and it will decrease special attack. So if you're making
Right,
an
I see.
attacker, a physical attacker,
Then, yeah, that won't matter.
you would use Jolly if you wanted it faster,
Yeah.
or you would use Adamant, for example, you want it stronger because it will lower special attack.
Okay.
So that's why natures are important because you may want to make sure that the negative effect is always on something you do not need,
Yeah.
or you go neutral if it's a mon where you are making it a mix attacker, for example,
Right,
but you still want a defense.
okay.
So those are the three things you need to make sure of when you're breeding. It takes time, but it's time wise. I wouldn't say it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the other guys, did you find breeding hard, or do you just think it's just a learning experience?
It's a lot easier now,
Oh,
personally,
yeah.
than it used to be. Like it's just so quick now. If you manage to get a Ditto with like 3 IVs or higher, then obviously it's even quicker. And as far as natures go, as long as you Everstone, pretty sure it's Everstone,
Yeah.
then yeah, you just carry the nature across as well.
Ah,
And
right.
then everything that you're hatching is the right nature, and then it's just a case of making sure that you get the IVs, which will come eventually. And then
That's
yeah,
something
you
else
just
I didn't know.
oh, what, the Everstone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What does
that's-
the Everstone just
I
make
know
sure it
bits-
keeps that
yeah,
nature, or
I
there's
know-
like a
I know
higher
bits
chance?
and pieces,
Mm,
but there'd be some where I wouldn't have perfect IVs all across the board because I'd get like
right.
a 5 IV of one that I want. I'd have a 5 or 6 IV Ditto, and then I'd just be breeding it over and over again to get the nature, and then obviously
Right. Yeah.
there's going to be a stat somewhere that's lower than.
Yeah, so you would always.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Everstone. That's why I would always have Dittos of every single nature that I care about. Some natures you're never
Right.
going to use. Like some natures are just
Well,
pointless.
There's 3. No, there's 4 neutral natures in there.
Yeah, there's 4.
Yeah.
You would want one neutral, one impish. Is usually one you want if you wanted a physical defensive one. I said Adamant, Jolly, Timid, which is the speed for special attackers.
Modest.
Modest for
One
special
of my
attacker.
favorites.
Yeah, and then like some don't really like. You never use gentle because you never want to raise your special defense and want to raise lowering your defense usually. Like those are the weird. Those are the some weird ones that you're not going to ever really care about. There may be some weird ones that use it, but generally you're never going to.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I always find that I tend to avoid any natures that are going to lower my defense.
Hmm.
There is occasions where I've done it, especially if you want to mix attackers.
Hmm.
Because you want to mix attacker, you don't want to lower an attack. Like a
Right.
glass cannon, you may not worry about lowering it. Like if it's a glass cannon, the defense is like.
Oh, yeah, I suppose actually, yeah.
Because sometimes you may want that special attack just to hit a Pokemon that's gonna come in on the physical side,
Hmm.
right? Again, it's in the mind game, depending how you play. Like it all goes into that.
Right.
So let's say now you have your perfect breed level 1 Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to get into competitive battling state. Here is where spreadsheets are very handy. So usually you want a spreadsheet for this for sure, because now we move on to EVs, which are also called effort values, which are gained through battling.
Is this so the little bit that I know, it's like if you battle a certain Pokemon, it will increase your stat in a certain area depending on what you're battling. Right, okay.
So that's how it works. So essentially, is that like you fight, I had one here. If you fight a Frillish, a special defense. If you fight, for example, a Patrat is attack. It will give you 1 point in attack. 4 points will up your boost stat by 1.
Right, okay.
So you need, there's a max of 510 EVs per Pokemon. Max per stat is 252. So that's 32 boost in that stat.
Wow, okay.
So usually a lot of them will be, let's say if you wanted a physical attacker, it will be 252 in attack. If you with the fast one, 252 in speed, 4 in health. Somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's your 5. Will be your. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is a long ways around, because if you think, oh wait, just 1 per Pokemon, well, technically yes, but there's ways to boost it. And they made it way easier again since Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
So going back to those power items you were talking about, let's take the Power Up 8 Anklet. You can put that on your Pokemon. That gives you 8 extra EVs per battle.
Oh, wow, okay.
Back in the day, before this gen, was 4. So now you went from 5 to 9.
Right.
And now what's nice, what they did is that they locked also EVs per stat at 252. Before it was 255. So before, if you were making a max stat Pokemon and were not calculating it, you could easily screw yourself over.
Oh, okay.
Because you would put 3 stats in somewhere you didn't need it.
Yeah.
But then there's also berries and lower EVs if you ever do screw up.
Ah, okay.
I've done that many times. I've done that many times.
That's why I usually always have a spreadsheet open. Every time I battle a Pokemon, it'd be like 9, and then just have some calculator at the bottom.
Wow.
Am I
It's
correct
much more
in saying,
trickier.
though? Oh, sorry, carry on.
It's much more trickier when you want weird EVs. Like, I want 50 some odd in speed, something in defense, and something here. Because then you really need to make sure you're not, like, removing items and stuff.
Yeah.
When you need it. So, it is just, again, very tricky, and you need to know what you're doing. And then, I forgot about the Pokerus.
Oh, of course, Pokerus. Yeah, I got that in the game, and I had no idea what it was. I got really worried when I got it.
No. It's not like what we're going through kind of virus.
Yeah.
It is actually it actually benefits EV training.
Yeah.
So what you do before battling, if you need it at the time, is run around with your Pokemon, have the Pokemon one to level up next to the one with Pokerus, and you can do, and it will spread it.
Yeah.
And that's why you see, I think, is a little purple square. It used to be a little purple square. It was a little smiley face back in the day.
Yeah.
I think it's the same. It's similar now. What that does, it will double your EVs. So you're going from now 9 to 18.
Ah, right.
But again, you gotta watch out what you're doing, because depending on what stats you need, you want to make sure you don't go over. Because that's quick to go over with doubling.
Oh, okay.
They've changed that as well in Sword and Shield for the better, because previously you had to actually battle and defeat Pokemon in the wild, and you'd get, I think it was like a 50% chance. I think it's still 50, but you don't need to battle anymore. You can just run away, and it still has that chance.
Well, yeah, because now it's because of EV. It's because of experience share, right? Back in the day, you didn't have experience share, so automatically, so you can turn it off, battle. And then you're good, because like I'm not sure now when you do experience share. I don't think EVs pass throughout your whole party.
They do.
They do.
Oh, they do now too. Okay, yeah. Because back in the day, what you do?
I've had that problem many times.
Okay, because usually back in the day would be put your level 1 Pokemon in front, switch it out.
Yeah, switch it out. Yeah.
When you're level 100, whatever Pokemon you're using, just destroy the little pitiful level 5 you're fighting. Yeah. So you would essentially want to get that. Back in the day, well, actually, one thing they probably made harder this generation was that there's no hordes. and what was it? Was Hordes made easy?
Yeah.
Unless you had
Yeah.
the one Pokemon which was not the proper stat you needed.
Or a shiny.
Or it was and I think back in A2 there was other like easier ways of getting it. Like with the radar where you can just like get to a specific one.
Ah, right.
So
Now it's a bit more annoying.
So Dayrider Busking in our Discord just put what's excellent is that obviously the max EVs you can earn from a battle is 18, and it only takes 14 battles because 18 times 14 is 252.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
exactly the correct amount to fully train.
If you want to full on, if you want to go, if you want to do the unit.
So would you do those battles and then it doesn't matter who you're battling against, or would you just like try and get something to increase the level and then battle those again? How does that work in
What
that
I
way?
usually do is get my Pokemon to fill up his EVs first. I don't care about my level usually at the beginning.
Okay.
Because in competitive on Pokemon you always get max. You get put to level 50,
Mm-hmm.
and your stats go with you. It's not as big. It's depending on what moves you want.
Right. Okay.
Right. So like dragons, for example, you need to get them usually level like 64 or 80 because you learn outrage or whatever at like a high level. Levels don't really matter because you always get boosted to 50.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And I think, is there issues with that? I forget now. If you're below leveled with the calculations, I tend to just go to level 50 just to see my stats.
Yeah.
But then what I'll usually do is when I get to level, get my EVs properly done in old gens, I would just go to the restaurant in Gen, was it 6? It would have been Gen 6, where you had the battling restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
Which would give you in crazy.
Yeah,
amount
that
of
sounds like
experience.
Gen 6.
Gen 4, there was someone who had a chance he would always battle.
Wasn't
Again,
Gen 5 a train station or something like that?
Yeah, I didn't play Gen 5
Or
as much, so that's when
I
I
can't
know,
remember. I don't remember much of Gen 5.
I know X and Y. I know 6 and 4 a lot. And a bit of
And
Sun
there's
Moon.
no one in 3 to help you.
Hmm?
And there's no one in 3 to help you.
Yeah.
You're
Nah.
on your own.
But so we had like you would just then get your EVs up and then get the moves you want on it, and then that's how you you essentially get the Pokemon you want to battle with.
Right. Okay.
The idea is in the moves. Then now it becomes what moves you want and what kind of that's where it comes to learning either what the Pokemon are good at, what are the most popular ones, and then, or how you battle. Because again, what makes it fun is also personalizing it. Don't just be a sheep and be like, let me go to Smogon and see what the best Jirachi moveset is.
Yeah.
Right? Because so what I usually do is look at Jirachi. If I look at Smogon for the Pokemon I want to put on a team,
Mm-hmm.
or what let's say I like, I think for people who want to get into it, find a Pokemon that you really like and that is useful.
Yeah.
That you think of useful, and build a team around that. Like, for example, I know, John, you said you like Jirachi, or you mentioned Jirachi, so I looked at that one as one. It is underused, but it has a very interesting different ways you can use it. And that's where it becomes scary in the way of, I don't know what your Jirachi is.
Right. Okay.
It usually, depending on when you put it, if it's their starter, I can guess that it's going to be a Stealth Rocker.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes later on, I don't know, it could be a Wish support, or it could be a Choice Scarf, or a Mix Attacker with Serene Grace and Iron Head, and you're just going to try to flinch everyone.
Right.
Maybe
Okay.
also maybe Iron Head, and it should learn like Thunder Wave. So you just para.
Right. I
people
see.
to annoyance.
That's what I got my Togekiss for.
Oh, nice.
So, for example, when I got into it, going back to when I started in university, I won with Nurturing.
Oh,
Back
okay.
in Gen 4, because Nurturing has Quick Feet, which means it's gonna if it's poisoned, burned, paralyzed, it's faster.
Right.
It's the same idea as Guts. Guts is that you'll be stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that on Talo a lot. Is it Talo?
Oh, Swallow?
Yeah,
The-
Tailo and Swallow. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the final evolve form of that. So Swallow, yeah. That has Guts, and and because it's fast, you just don't even worry about the speed you want. You're worried.
Yeah,
about the
you're
attack.
working on the attack, right?
I won with that because I would give it a flame orb or
Mhm.
whatever, and it'll just be faster and everything.
Right, I see.
Someone tried to paralyze me. When you have quick feet, paralysis never happens. So,
Oh well, okay.
or I got really lucky.
Oh, amazing.
But yeah, so I was very fast and Ursaring back then was very strong because I had
Right.
like good movesets and good, and also had facade. It's normal. It's facade.
Oh,
Facade
so
is
it's got stab, which is another thing. So stab is when a Pokemon of its own type, if it uses a move of its own type. For example,
Exactly.
with facade, it would be a
Facade.
normal type using a normal type move.
Which is 1.5.
Yeah.
Same
Same
type attack boost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so facade, because facade is double because you are. I think facade is double because I was like paralyzed
Yeah.
and being stabbed.
Yeah.
It becomes a very strong attack.
Yeah.
And then of course you would need a ghost move with it on you because of course if someone's going to block you with ghost,
Mhm.
then you would have a ghost move for it, right?
Right.
And then you would just weaken the team with your other Pokemon and then bring it near the end where it could just come in and just
just
decimate.
get the rest of them. Yeah.
And also you would want protect on it because you want to make sure you get your flame orb or whatever orb
Oh, of course. Yeah.
set before it hits, right? So yeah, so there's a lot of different movesets. Again, it depends on how you want to play it. For
Mhm.
this, I say Showdown is like the best way of learning.
Yeah.
Because Showdown is you can go in, make a team, pick a Pokemon you want. It will give you suggested moves. It will give you actually. I think you can even set it to what IVs and all that. Like it'll be like recommendations and stuff. Like it's really easy to make a team of 6.
Right, okay,
And
yeah. And that's a good way of
just
like
go-
experimenting to see if stuff works rather than putting all of the work and effort and time into making that team and realizing, actually, I don't want it like this. I'll swap this for this one instead. Yeah. No,
And then you
that
can
sounds a
also-
lot better, yeah.
It also can save your battles, with like Pokemon can too. But it's also good with that because then you can see it afterwards when you're not in that mindset, and you can learn from it, right? Rewatching what you did and say, well, I did this wrong, or I can, I switched when I shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you 1v1, that's where the practice comes in. It's knowing, do I attack or do I switch out and try to, like a chess game, right? Like, do I
Yeah.
go aggressive? Do I, double switch into something else so he could think I'm going to put in, so he switches into, like knowing what your opponent might do.
Right.
And you learn this by battling, right? And just battling, knowing how people usually react to when you put in a guard chump on the field, and he has something it's super effective against.
Yeah. So it's kind of like what you said about it being chess, trying to predict what move they're going to make and making moves to sort of play with what you think they're going to play, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also thinking I'm fun. Like I love Arcanine with Roar, or things with like or having a lot of poison spikes out and you're roaring Pokemon away, and it's
Oh, yeah, cool.
getting that
Yeah.
poison spread out on
Yeah.
teams.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's hard. Like I can't go in and say we'll do this kind of, doing it this way because it's not fun when you do that. There's a lot of online like YouTube videos you can watch of just watching people battling 2 helps. Like I'm not sure people know about the World Battle Association Entertainment.
No, I've not heard of that.
It's run by I'm sure a YouTuber everyone knows, A Drive.
Right, okay.
Okay, so essentially this is a draft league battling competition. They do VGC and they do 1v1.
Oh, okay.
They do a draft and they're drafting your Pokemon.
Oh, interesting.
So their team is always a set amount they can trade and stuff. But if you want to learn just how people think,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting because you're always gonna see different Pokemon out on the field.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay.
If you just want, and they have VGCs and they do 1v1s.
Yeah.
So that's a way to learn is also just watch videos, especially if you get YouTubers who articulate well and talk about what they're thinking.
Right. Okay.
Like one recent is Cybertron VGC, who was a VGC. He won the VGC a few times.
Ah, okay.
And he has a YouTube. He's part of the WBE. Someone like Wolfie, who has won before, he's also part of that tournament too. But he hasn't done his own video. He does his own stuff.
Okay.
And if we're on the VGC side, follow them, watch their videos. They're usually really good at, especially Cybertron, because he's now an announcer for it.
Ah,
And when he
right.
battles, he will bring in other combat and he really does well of like I'm taking this move because I want to boost this Pokemon because he's going to do this, and it's like really well
Yeah.
of understanding like how the mindset of these people are.
Yeah, kind of like explaining what they're thinking as it's happening, rather than you just watching them make those moves and you're like, oh, why did this person do this? And then
Yeah.
see it play out, seeing them think it through as it happens. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah,
And then you can think of like then you have an idea of like how to favor 1v1s. Like usually want one or two attack. You want one attacker that comes in late game when everyone's kind of weakened.
mm-hmm.
That can come in and just like take them out. Usually you want a starting your starter. Your first Pokemon out is usually something that's going to either put like either put effect on the field, like I mentioned it earlier. I keep always slipping my mind. Stealth Rocks.
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Like you want Stealth Rock, or maybe the Stealth Rocker is going to have. Usually you can have like U-turn where you can Stealth Rock, get itself out, or oh no, I'm really bad in this position. Is not a good one for me. I'm bouncing right away.
Right.
Because you don't want to be in. Because sometimes you might see your team like, oh, he can lead with like Jirachi. Let me lead with a Heatran or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something I know that I can just pulverize you with.
Right.
So I can block your Stealth Rocks, because like usually Stealth Rocks are really annoying, and depending on what Pokemon you have on your team.
Yeah.
Usually you want something to remove hazards. Like so, there's a lot of different things you can think of. Okay, I want maybe one defensive one physical defensive, one special defensive, a few attackers, something that supports my team. Like say like a wish Pokemon, which you can wish. So like say for example, let's take Jirachi.
Yeah.
Let's wish. You wish, then you can use U-turn.
Oh,
Bring
and
the
so
weakened
if you use
Pokemon.
wishing and use to U-turn, with that Pokemon that comes out, would that one be healed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could heal at the end of the second turn.
Yeah.
It will heal whoever's out at the time.
Yeah,
Right.
next turn.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly. So usually you will, and because you're doing two moves, and also because Jirachi is usually slower than a lot of mons, even though it's 100 and everything, you're usually not going to put spec into speed.
Yeah.
You know you're probably going to take the hit. Then you're going to leave, and then the damage mon is going to come in and take the health. Or it's a way to knowing that I'm coming. If you know you're faster, but the mon's coming in as strong, good against a mon that's out,
Yeah.
you wish heal it.
Right. I see.
So it comes in, and but doing that, you become the threat
Mm-hmm.
on the field, and you make the other person have to react to your changes.
Okay.
Right? It's just all about knowing what you like coming in, and with the Pokemon at hopefully the right time that is going to put the other person on their toes.
Right.
And by using like these things with U-turn and stuff helps, because you go in, they see you're going to attack, so they think, okay, you're staying in, and all of a sudden, oh no, wait, he comes out with
Yeah.
whatever the mon that comes out. So there's a lot of different ways, and it's hard for me to say do this or this. It's by learning.
Yeah.
So Showdown is a great way of doing it, because you can go to unranked battles, make a team. Yes, you're probably gonna get pulverized quite a bit at the beginning, but it's not something. Don't go down on. Don't be down on yourself. Just like use every battle as a learning experience. And if you do battle like 10 times with the same team, if you want to go through them and see which mon has not been supporting that team well, and why. Maybe it's a movement you're not on it. Maybe it's a type of mon. Or
Right. Yeah.
also, you don't have too many sidekicks or too many steals or too many if you like a certain nature. This is where you need to break that anyway, because you can't have like one strong typing. Not nature, sorry, typing.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you do that, people will come in. If the other team has one Pokemon that's effective against it,
Mm-hmm.
can come in and hurt your whole team.
Right. Yeah. Of course. That kind of leaves you open. Yeah.
It's a bit like how we were doing the gym challenge today. We
Yeah.
all lost because mine was flying type. He came in with a Zapdos and just one shot everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I am, we used to have a Pokemon league. Manchester was like 8 people were gym leaders. We had to lead 4, and it was like they would just meet up like, yeah, we're gonna be at this mall or whatever, and people just gonna go and battle them whatsoever.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's kind of what we did today, where we're like, come challenge us on our Discord. Each of us chose a type to focus around. For example, mine was I had a fairy team, so every Pokemon was a fairy type of something else as well. Yeah, you said yours was flying gym, Jack. But yeah, it ended up not working in our favor, because the other people against us would have an entire diverse team. And they're like, oh, fairy, I'll use all steel moves or something.
Poison or steel.
Yeah.
And again, it sucks too because if I was in flying, I would have for sure have a Gliscor in it. Because Zapdos cannot hit it hard because it's also ground.
Oh yeah.
And Gliscor is one of my favorite.
I don't have a Gliscor.
Gliscor's not in this generation. Gliscor is one of my it is my favorite Pokemon and one of my favorite team Pokemon I have in my competitive team.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Just because of
Flygon would have worked as well.
Healing by poison.
Yeah.
So you would give it a poison.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Toxic Orb.
Yeah.
Toxic Orb, protect. You start healing with it, and you're not affected by sleep. You're not affected by thunder anyway. Lightning, you're paralyzed because you're ground.
Oh yeah, because you're ground. Yeah.
Unless you get glare on you, and you heal from it, and you can also use a move that hucks it at the opponent and you poison them.
Oh yeah. That's
and you give
interesting.
like toxic, protect, use your earthquake and something else, and it has a diverse move pool.
Damn, nice.
And you can learn dark moves. You can learn quite a bit of things. So it's very. I think I have in my, and you find my Gen 7. I think I have like 4 competitive boxes full of like IV, EV trained Pokemon. I have some that are duplicates of the same Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I want, especially like back in the day when Mega forms. I had 3 Gyarados.
Oh yeah.
Mega Gyarados doing different things.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I mean that's what for me. Do you guys have any questions?
I don't mind myself. You covered a lot of sort of like all the basic areas that I was going to ask about. But no, that's fantastic. Have either of you got any questions at all?
Not so much a question, only something to add, I suppose. With EVs, they've made they've made EVs again quite a bit easier. Previously, you could use vitamins to essentially knock pretty much half of the EVs on the head.
10 per, right? I think.
That's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you could essentially knock, let's say you were doing a physical sweeper, speed and attack, you could put 10 protein into attack and then 10 Carbos into speed. Now you can do the full amount. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
so you can basically just slap 26 into the 2 stats, and then you can just go with a Pokerus Pokemon, knock out a few just to get the HP if you want or whatever stat you want, obviously. But also in Isle of Armor, if you upgrade your dojo enough, you get a vending machine at the back for vitamins, and they're literally half price. If you buy sets of 25, it's like literally half price,
And
as
also
opposed to buying
feathers.
them in the league. Yeah, and feathers as well. Yeah.
Feathers are good if you want. Again, I said if you want a weird, like for example, I'm looking at Jirachi. Jirachi, the witch type, has 136 in speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, so you do vitamins to 130, and you can give it 6 feathers to give it those last.
Oh, to bring it up to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like-
okay.
I think in the Isle of Armor, correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously I don't have the DLC. Like I said, I was just watching a video the other day trying to find out weird bits of knowledge, and apparently there is an island on there that has, you know, when you're going around and something glows on the floor and you pick it up.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a certain portion of an island that has mints,
Yeah, there is, yeah.
which changes natures.
I've forgotten whether it's like
It's like
one
it's
spawns.
like the top. It's like the top right island or something like that.
Yeah, or there's like a person there. I can't remember.
It's the big tree island. Dave Ryder Buskins.
In
just said.
Isle of Armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've literally been smashing the battle tower for a while now just to get more battle
No,
points, to get more sprigs.
You can
But
pick them up off the floor.
Have you also been using
Well-
Pokemon Home as well? Because you can
Yeah.
get like battle points through there as well.
yeah, I pulled a few literally last night just to try and get my failure of a Turtonator ready. But
To be fair, that's what I did. I didn't mint the Heron Edge you gave me in the end because I don't have the Isle of Armor and I only had 2 battle points. I was like, I'm gonna have to grind for like 4 hours to get enough.
Yeah.
So I just literally got the Carbos and the protein and just slapped it on 26 of each. Done.
You do remind me of one thing too. Yeah, so mints will give it a nature. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about when breeding. But yes, the first thing you should do before even getting to breeding is doing the battle tower for the power items.
Ah, right, of course, yeah.
Each one I think is 32 battle points.
I feel like they're
I think
less
so.
now, aren't they?
They made
Less?
it cheaper. They made those cheaper then. Back in the day, there were 32.
I've only got 1% on my phones.
Because they used to be a lot more expensive, didn't they?
Yeah, I think there were
I've-
32
I've-
back. Each one was 32, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
And you-
Ah, right.
I'll just
You
have a
need
quick
every-
look now.
So yeah, so the first thing to do is also get battle points if you know you need a Pokemon that needs a certain thing to evolve. Like, you know, Rhyperior or whatever.
Oh, of course, yeah, with Protector.
All those
yeah.
are there.
Right, right.
And yeah, now they made. Yeah, because now is there egg moves in? No, there's egg moves in Sword and Shield. There's no tutor moves, right? In Sword and Shield.
Oh, it's 10.
I think there were tutor
Yeah.
moves. There's like certain people. Isle of Armor gives you like special
Right,
moves
you're-
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10.
So 10, they made
Yeah.
that so much cheaper than back in the day because back then it was 32.
Oh wow,
And it would
yeah.
take so long as well. So long.
And also when you're breeding Lucky Egg, when you're leveling up Lucky Egg,
Yeah.
Is
And
Lucky Egg the one that
I
gives
was-
you more experience?
it doubles your
Yeah.
back in.
Ah.
In Gen 6, they give it to you.
Yeah.
Gen 4, they didn't. It was only on Chansey, 5% of the time.
Yeah.
Chansey was only be able to find. You only can find Chansey 5% of the time.
Wow.
So you always had to move. You always I would put a Pokemon in front, which would give it. What's it? One that tells you the items.
Oh, Zigzagoon's thing, right?
Yeah.
Pick up.
Pick up, yeah, that's it.
That wouldn't.
No, not pick up. No. It's
Chris.
It would say, oh, your opponent has.
Oh, Frisk. Yeah,
Frisk?
yeah.
Oh, Frisk, right. What does
Yeah,
what's
I
Pick
would
Up
have
do?
First Pokemon was Frisk, and it would so when you see a Chansey, you would say, oh, it has this, and then I was like run, and if sometimes second on with Switcheroo.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
will steal
okay.
the item.
Basically, it's the same as your trick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's how I would farm like heart scales too.
Oh,
Fine.
cool. I see. Yeah. Oh,
Just go
awesome.
and check the item, grab it, run.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So yeah, so like, get the power items right away, and then then just find someone who has a Pokerus, because usually on Reddit or whatever, you can just ask around and someone will have it.
Yeah.
And then they usually have multiple because you usually want to make sure you spread it around, because eventually the marking will go away, but it still has it.
Yeah.
It'll stay as long as you box the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
well,
still got Pokemon. I got that in Ruby, and I've transferred my
Yeah.
Pokemon up each generation to the point where I still continuously have Pokerus somewhere.
If you leave it in your party and the clock ticks over midnight, then it'll lose it, or at least it'll
okay.
retain the ability to get the EVs,
Mhm.
but it won't be spreadable anymore.
Ah,
so
right, I
yeah,
see.
just make sure you keep boxed a few Pokemon with Pokerus so that you can spread it. It's
Yeah,
really
of course.
Especially now it's so
easy.
easy to spread.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
so yeah,
it's crazy, absolutely crazy now.
yeah, and they made it so much easier compared to I think like Gen 4. I didn't even think about IVs because
Yeah,
it would have been it would take like for example, I think I had 700 hours on my Gen 4. Hence why I'm so excited for the remakes.
Oh yeah.
Because of competitive, and if they bring back like they bring over these quality of life changes, which it sounds like they may,
Mm-hmm.
it'll keep making it fun again to do it, because like getting, let's say, like a melodic back in the day was really hard because of the
yeah.
was it happiness or the beauty? Like,
Oh, beauty. Yeah, you had to get its beauty
the
up.
Yeah.
beauty. I think I spent an 8-hour train ride just breeding Feebasses. Like things like that, like it's like because you needed a female
Right.
and all that, and so it's like, oh, I got a good one. F, it's a male. Okay, well, let me
Yeah.
let me breed. And it's like, yeah. So it's like it was long, right? Because and on top of it, in Gen 4, when I didn't care about IVs, so really there's not much I'm looking at
Hmm.
compared to later on when you got at IVs. But so they made it much easier now with just how they did it, because they want to open it up for more people, right?
Yeah.
Because you
I
can
was gonna say,
literally
it's nice
fix
that you
everything
can-
now.
Yeah, I like the fact that you can just press, essentially start in your box and see all your IVs.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or roughly, obviously not.
Like,
exactly,
yeah. Me,
Like,
like, I
very
don't
good
even
is
do
probably gonna
competitive
be,
stuff, but
like,
I'm able to keep track of like,
between,
oh, all of
25
these.
and 28 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
you know that if it says best, it's 31.
Yeah, like I've been
And-
able to keep
and
track of
then-
that myself. I don't even know anything about competitive, but I got a box where it's like
Hey,
5 of them.
John
have
B, thank you for following.
them.
Sorry.
That's all good. But yeah,
And the fact that you can fix everything now is also wonderful because, like, if you'd caught random stuff back in the day, like I told my story earlier about, on Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, the first Hooper ring that I went up to, shiny Terrakion. I went absolutely crazy, caught it. It was I can't remember what the nature it was, but it was stupid, and its stats were pretty crap as well. But I didn't do anything with it. And of
Yeah.
course now, I can just fix everything on Sword and
Yeah.
Shield, everything so easily, like that.
Yeah, just
and
bottle caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with
So-
the DLC, you can make bottle caps.
You can
Yeah.
with the Crammer.
Cramomatic.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, you get back. If you have a shiny Pokemon from back in the day, or even now, and you really like, let's say you're doing Dynamax Adventures or whatever you want to call it, you get a shiny Pokemon there. It's like, oh, now that's actually potentially can be now easily competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
By just doing, as he said, like doing the bottle caps, doing all that. Like, the thing you might be lacking is egg moves. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
There's egg moves potentially, but again, that's usually not the end of the world.
Yeah. That's only like a select few on like certain Pokemon. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's crazy ridiculous how easy they've made it for people to want to get into it or are interested.
Yeah, definitely. It's way more accessible now than it has ever been, which is great. Yeah.
Especially now with Showdown, it's like that's a great place to practice. It's quick to get into battles. It's quick to make teams. It's honestly not hard.
Yeah.
And if anyone that's on this Discord who wants to ask questions, hit me up. I'm Dark Studios on it. I can help you make a team on Showdown. You can even save the team and give it to someone else through text. There's a way to import-export your whole team.
Alright.
And yeah, you can save your battles and just watch them. And don't get mad. Like, don't think you're crappy. Just learn. And rewatching it helps you think, oh, I did this wrong. I should have maybe done this instead.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think, is there anything else you haven't covered? Have any of you got any questions, or have we about covered all the basics?
I was just gonna say, obviously, you said to not copy, like looking at people's teams and just copy them. I think, was it you or Dave who mentioned it, Eddie, that obviously, Landorus Therian was huge.
Oh god,
And
yeah.
some people were amazing at using it, and some people just couldn't use it at all. They couldn't utilize it because I don't know why, but some people, like, I find that I've not copied any teams, but I've kind of been like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. But it doesn't fit for my style of play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm very much, if I've got a full team of 6, obviously 3 in a gym battle is a bit different, but if I've got a full team of 6, I'm very much in and out. I switch quite a lot.
Yeah.
Just to kind of keep you on your toes. Just that chip damage, like, you'll send out, I don't know, water Pokemon. I'll use, I don't know, U-turn, send out an electric type Pokemon, Volt Switch, send out something else, and just, if that makes any sense, that's...
And there's ways around it,
player.
because, like, putting hazards on the field will prevent you doing that, for example, right? Like, then if you have that mindset, you for sure want a rabbit spinner on your team.
I've done that, yeah.
Because you need to get those things away. Like, take Lander Therian. Let's say, like, someone tells you, okay, Lander Therian is an awesome Pokemon. First thing I would do is go to Smogon, look at the movesets. I don't know why they made it. I don't like the new version, because before it was much more, here's the movesets, and then they'll have like a paragraph of like explaining the moves or what moves you can use. Now it's just almost like an importer-exporter for Pokemon Showdown. Like, look at the movesets they have and think about, okay, why are these moves? Why are they recommending these moves for this Pokemon, or in this specific set?
Right.
Like, for example, the Sword Dance had Sword Dance, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Stealth Rock. With Intimidate. So of course you want to Intimidate because you want to force out. You're going to go in on an attacker, and you're going to intimidate them. You usually would want to leave because they don't want to be the weakened attack. So you have that one move of usually using Sword Dance to boost yourself, and then you're using Earthquake as a stab, and you're using Stone Edge to anything that doesn't hit it. you bring up a flying Pokemon, well, you have something that they're weak to. And then if you put Stealth Rock, because usually another reason is if you know they're going to leave and don't have rocks up, boom, you can also do that. But again, like in terms of like what Jack said, like if he wants U-turn, well, maybe you take this set and say, no, I'm putting U-turn here instead. Because if I want to, like, a Sword Dance in, oh no, he brings something I don't want to be in against. Well, I'm just gonna U-turn out, give it some damage, and I'm out. I'm safe. Because something like Landorus is a Pokemon that can come in late game and wreck shop because it's very, very. It has 145 attack, so it hits hard.
Right. Okay.
And it comes back to what you said as well about sometimes having multiple versions of one Pokemon. Like, I've genuinely got 3 different Starmies for doing 3 different jobs.
And also great, especially if you're doing battles with someone who's like you're doing a best of 3, where you can saying you can change your Pokemon, but if I have a different Landorus,
right, yeah,
he's suspecting one type, and then I bring my defensive one or my attacking one, or a Suicide Lead, which is just Earthquake, Explosion, Stealth Rock, and whatever else you want.
Wow. Yeah.
Another great move on Lottomon is Knockoff. Knockoff is, don't overuse it, but there's one move I love having on my team.
It's Knockoff the one where it takes away their item.
Exactly. And it does more damage than items. Because as I said, you come in with say like Landorus, he's pretty much probably going to leave because I'm intimidating the guy.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with just knock off right away. Because the Diamond comes in, you're hampering it, right? You've had leftovers.
Yeah.
He loses healing power.
Yeah.
Right? Things like that. Like, those are great things to have on Pokemon because if you know the person's going to switch on you, you have a way of crippling Pokemon that comes in.
Yeah. No, I did a similar thing today where I've spent the past week or so just looking into building my team. I had a Grimmsnarl with a lagging tail, but also the move Trick. I think it's Trick. Where it swapped out the item for whatever the other person had. So I was fighting someone who had a Pokemon with leftovers. So I used Trick. So my Pokemon now had leftovers. They had the lagging tail. So now that slowed them. So I would go first. And I would heal. And it slowed them down as well.
A lot of times when people use Trick, again, and for competitively, is giving it a Choice Scarf. Having a Choice Scarf on you, let's say like with...
oh, yeah.
Road and Wash is good because Road and Wash is also pretty offensive.
Okay.
So if you just want to use Trick, the water move, electric moves it hard. But then if you use Trick on a physical Pokemon, for example, it's stuck using one move.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting, yeah.
On an attack it doesn't care about.
Right, of course.
So you're crippling that Pokemon because you're forcing it to do one thing compared to some Pokemon which are multi diverse. Right, or giving Trick on a Mon who is a supportive Pokemon.
Yeah.
Where you usually use all your moves. You're not just focusing on one attack, for example.
Yeah.
So yeah, like as I said, just go to Smogon, look at the Pokemon you like, look at the move sets they recommend, and then look at the moves they have and say, well, I understand why you're doing this, but maybe one move doesn't make sense for you, or something else makes sense, and just go from there. Yeah. That's my recommendation, and then try it out on Showdown.
All right, awesome.
Sorry, just one last leaving question, and it's not an actual question. There's no kind of correct answer. It's just opinion. Would you say that the fact that everything to do with breeding and making a Pokemon competitively viable has almost ruined the achievement of it? So if you made a perfect team in Generation 4, I'm sure it felt a million times better than making a perfect team in Sword and Shield. Like, where do you sit with that?
I'm a bit annoyed. As I said, getting the lucky egg, taking me like a whole night to do it, literally spending the whole night doing it, to be given it to you in Gen 6 was a little bit annoying. But on the other hand, it becomes, because it's quicker, I can make more diverse teams. Quicker. I can have more Pokemon quickly, because like, as soon as I get my one, let's say, good score up to perfect IV one, I can just breed that one with all those IVs with the Destiny Knot, and I can get my second one really quick. And then if you're running and you're rolling in money and you're just buying all the vitamins for it, keeping it healthy, boom, I have another one. I have another viable one, and 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's
Not
the
even
thing.
worried
It
about
doesn't
Yeah, because there's still a lot of work involved. It's a lot less repetitive, I guess.
And also
Like,
bottle cap,
Hmm.
it helps
Yeah.
too because I don't need to worry about 5 IVs. I can worry about getting 4 of them, and then one's closed. Why breed again? Just bring it to, to place and use caps to get it the last one up.
because it doesn't like the fact that they've made it so much easier. It doesn't affect the work that we put in. Like even from Gen 3 onwards, like we can still technically bring Pokemon across from Ruby and Sapphire, and the amount of work and effort put in all the way back then, that isn't really devalued now because we can still the future Pokemon we make
And
can still
theoretically
be
be
made
more
so much
valuable.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
So
of tutor moves
it-
that are not here anymore.
yeah, yeah, like there's no negative impact on the Pokemon that we've already, bred or caught or worked for. If anything, we can enhance those now with things like the mints, the bottle caps, etc. And any Pokemon that we do train moving forward, we can, as you said, we can train them faster, easier, more efficiently. So, like at first, my personally my knee jerk reaction was they're making it so easy, but now it's like they're making it so easy.
Yeah.
It goes from like I wouldn't say gatekeeping, but I guess like earning the stripes in a way more of like I did this and it was like a painstaking process.
Yeah.
To now where like I don't honestly it's like hey cool like it's easier for kids to get into it.
Yeah.
And also much more visible. Like now how they have the stats in the window is so much more easier to see how it is. But actually in a way they made even in a way EVs were easier in Gen 6 than they are now through the training they had.
Yeah, they were so easy to get.
In the training you can just do like little mini games.
Oh
super
yeah,
training,
yeah.
Just firing footballs at a big balloon like. Whoa, I gained 32 attack EVs, and it took me like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. In a way, but EVs they always had ways around getting quick EVs like through hordes and stuff. Or like EVs is easy to go if you just go to Cerebi, look them on there's like it'll tell you each do should be somewhere so it just gives you 1 HP boost. And you find out where they are and you find a place that has like most of them, you just go in and run around. That's what I used to do.
Yeah. Like, I know the common ones. I don't really know any of the niche ones. Like Tentacle is special defense, Whismur is health, Ralts and Abra are special attack. That's I think Poochiena's attack.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I know quite a lot of the common ones, but not the like I couldn't tell you like for example you said about Turtonator. I couldn't tell you what EV's Turtonator gives you.
And you wouldn't care because it's like, what 5% chance in the wild area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't care about it. You would never look at that as. And also, that thing too. Now, in the wild area, it almost makes looking for EV, which ones you need to battle quicker because you see them.
Yeah, of course. So you can select who you're going to battle. Yeah.
Like, yeah, and there's usually like especially spawn. There's usually a lot of them in one area.
Yeah.
So it's easier than say like in when you're in the grass where it's like you're going in like oh bloody bleep I need to go out. Like when you had when it was a poker radar right where you could just like jump to the same type.
Oh yeah.
Because that's another way I would use EV. You just go in, get the one you want, and you just keep training them.
Doing it from there, yeah.
But yeah, awesome. I mean, honestly, I think the hardest part is going to the fun first in Showdown, and if you like it and you love it, then start going into the grueling part.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Don't go into thinking I'm going to breed these Pokemon to battle, and it's like you get to the battle, and when you start losing, you're much more annoyed because it took you way longer to get there.
Yeah. It's a lot better to like make it in Showdown, work out how it works, get used to it, and just make sure that it's something you want to do. Then make it for real. Yeah. Awesome.
Exactly, because then you know what you want and know how what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And you're finding the fun quicker.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much for all of the advice you've given. That's so much information I didn't know before, and I'm sure loads of people are going to find that really useful as well. Yeah, really appreciate the time. If any of you guys have got anything else you want to say?
No, just thank you for joining, really, and thanks for all the information. And yeah, I think as Sean said, really just echoing his sentiments. I think a lot of people will find it very interesting, and it's a good. You presented it in a good way to take kind of information away, bullet point it and stuff, moving from segment to segment, and it's real good fun to get into. And Showdown, I mean, I haven't used it personally simply because I think I was, to quote, was it Bane or whatever? I was molded in the darkness.
Yeah.
I didn't see these kind of pieces of software until I was already a Pokemon master. You know, Do you know what I mean? But that's the thing. Like anyone now just starting out fresh, they can use it as a really good educational tool to get into it. Like you said, kind of in a much less harsh and painful way. They can kind of test out methods and such. And like I didn't know that much about it until you talked about it today. So yeah, I've taken something from it. I think everyone will have done.
And actually, another thing about what I love actually doing in Showdown 2 is it's fun, but it's not really. It's kind of it's just doing random battles, just to get the idea of I have this Pokemon with these moves. What do I do with it? Like they're really weird moves and sets, so I don't recommend but just learning on the spot, just what attack should I use or should I move out or things like that. If you don't worry about making a team. But yeah, I'll be on the Discord, and if you ask questions in Battle Tower, I'll be happy to help.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much.
We're gonna put a Pokemon and say, "What do you think of this Pokemon?" I don't mind helping you out and recommending things.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.